On that. Yep.
And Tooth and Tail is on the screen. There we go. Alright. So,
Alright.
we have our wonderful, wonderful tournament here. Tooth and Tail League Season 1, which you can get to by going to Battlefy and looking up Tooth and Tail. You could also go to One Turn KO and go to the Tooth and Tail League from there. You can also follow this link. Let me...
I gotcha.
Yeah, there you go. You can also follow this link in chat. Did it let you post a link in chat? I just want to make sure.
Yep.
It's okay. Good. That's good. I think it only bans specific links. Hey, all right. So let's get back to Tooth and Tail League, and then I'll put this into a separate window, so that way, let's make this another tab. Stack. New window.
You have far too many tabs open, sir.
I got a lot of work to do, so I need all these tabs. Alright, so Tooth and Tail League is up, and I'll zoom in a bit so people can read it a bit easier on stream, because I know how that goes. So, overview. Tooth and Tail League Season 1. As it's described, Tooth and Tail League is a continuous competitive circuit that will allow players of all skill levels to showcase their strategies and abilities in a regularly casted environment, culminating in tournaments involving not just the upper echelon of players in the league, but also amateur brackets, which is a goal. The entire event starts February 1st, but no games are really going to be played until February 2nd. We'll go into that in a bit more detail. It's a 1v1 tournament. Player registration is just completely open. No matter who you are, you can join. We are running it through PC, so Steam and GOG is the preferred platform. We will try to run PlayStation 4 oriented tournaments in the future if there's interest. If people message us and it's like, hey, we should run a PlayStation 4 Tooth and Tail tournament. That's definitely something that could be in the works. If there's interest for it, we can put that together. But this first one's just going to be Steam and GOG focused. So, just a little info there. The rules. Primary rules are up top here, and then if you scroll further down, we have a lot more specifics, kind of in bullet points, which is kind of nice. So, the most important rules. It seems silly to say, but don't be a jerk. Excessive bad manners and harassment in general won't be tolerated. And I do appreciate, when people have friendly banter and stuff like that, and there's stories in competitive games or people who are friends, but they'll jokingly say bad things to each other. But we're more talking explicit harassment and continued harassment. It's just not appreciated. Just a pretty standard thing.
Yep. It's one thing to just do some silly banter before and after a game. It's another thing to just be a jerk and insult the opponent. Just don't be a jerk.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Format for... Oh, sorry, and all replays for matches must be saved and submitted to tournament coordinators. We cannot cast... You can talk about that, Shadow. I'll let you have this one.
Yeah. So, the thing is, we're trying to cast every single game that's done in this league. It is very difficult to cast games if we do not have a game. I can try and draw the game as I imagine it through MS Paint. I'm not sure that would be very accurate. Please don't make me do that because it would probably end up horrible. And I also don't want to take over Master's responsibility as making masterpieces.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you'll be another masterpiece maker, yeah. So we need those replays, definitely. That's very important. Very important for verifying who won in the case of a dispute, and very important for casting because that's sort of the point. So it's not just like you listening to a baseball radio recording of and the other team won. And it's oh, okay. We're trying to show that visually as well. So yeah, the format for open season is round robin. So the idea of round robin, for those who don't already know what that is you are in a group of players and you go down the list of players and play them. In round robin by default, it's in order, but you can play the matches in any order in your group. So you're organized into a group of 6 players, 6 interested, tooth and tail competitors for 4 weeks, with players accumulating 1 point for winning a full set versus any given player. So week 1, you're fresh into this. You just install Tooth and Tail, and you're like, I'm gonna enter this tournament, which is fun.
Good luck. You are a braver man than I.
I mean, I definitely want to see a lot of all types of skill levels again. Like
Yeah, definitely.
I don't just want to see like Chip and Bishi destroying people and DJ and stuff. I also want to see a lot of people getting into the game. And who knows? I mean, you never know when like the next great player is going to be this one person who's like just comes up with some crazy innovative strategy. You know?
Yeah.
That's still happening in like StarCraft to this day. You'll have people coming into that scene that are fairly newcomers, you know, who just started like a year or two ago, and they're amazing. So that's cool. So each week you get your assignment. You have 6 people in your group, so you have 5 people to play against. You will play against them by private messaging them on Discord, or hitting them up in the tournament channel in the Pocket Watch Games Discord, or talking to them through Steam. It is up to you to communicate with these players, and we have set up in the contact screen numerous Discord servers where you should be able to contact these players, no problem. So, you contact them, and you play a best of 3 with them. So, whoever wins 2 rounds, essentially, first is 2 games, I guess you could say. First is the winner. You both screenshot the end score screens. You both save your replays, and then ideally, the winner will always send in their replay in a zipped file to a tournament coordinator, titled, player 1, but the names here, player 1 versus player 2, round, 1, 2, 3, whatever. But I strongly recommend that the even if you didn't win, save the replays, because if the winner forgets, you need to send the replays in then. But yes, the onus is usually on the winner. You get a point for a win, you get 0 points for a loss, and then at the end of that week, you get seeded into a new group with people with similar win rates. If you don't have enough opponents, we're considering a bye system where, let's say there's only 4 people in a group. That means you can only play 3 games, so essentially you will get 2 points for free is what we're considering with the bye system, but then you will be completely ineligible for buys for the next week. So to make it so someone isn't just buying their way through the entire tournament, we'll have like kind of a buy rotation, I guess you could say. So I think that's pretty.
If you got
reasonable.
buys this week, then the buys would move on to the next group or whatever, and
Yes.
you'd be certain to have 5 players for the next week.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're going for. So yes, and we're trying to keep the points as similar as possible to keep the matches fair and interesting throughout the open season. So if you didn't get any points in the first week, that's okay. We're going to try to match you with other people who didn't get any points. And if you got 5 points, same thing. We'll try to match you with 5 points. And this goes on until the end of the open season, where you will have somewhere between 0 and 20 points, theoretically. If you get more than 20 points in 20 games, that's pretty impressive. But I'm not sure, what kind of math you'd be doing there. Following that,
It's DJ's mole math.
yeah, DJ's mole math.
Calculators.
Crazy Ivan just earns multiple points. Mishi, Chip, any of those players, yeah. Following the open season, we'll list all the players and their points. We'll talk about, the games and the history and all that kind of thing. And maybe do some like replay highlights of some of the interesting moments that have happened and stuff to watch out for, because those players are now going to be put into Class S and Class A. So a kind of unique thing about this tournament is that Class S is like your standard kind of competitive scene thing, where the top 8 players get put into a special elimination bracket, and they play a standard tournament day where they're playing against each other through a bracket and eliminating each other until one emerges as the victor of the entire season for Class S. Class A, though, is something that's kind of unique to this tournament, where we are going to take the next 8 players down, so 9 through 16th place, and they're going to be in Class A, and they have an elimination tournament before Class S. And I think that's really cool, because it gives players who were just shy of Class S, or players who are maybe new and getting into the game, it gives those players their own tournament, and it's kind of exciting to be like, oh, if you're a new player, you don't have to play against these vets and get destroyed by people like DJ or something. You have a tournament environment where it's essentially like an amateur bracket, and I think that's really exciting. I think it's going to be a wonderful place for perhaps people that don't play tooth and tail like 16 hours a day to compete in. I think that's going to be awesome to cast too. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm really excited for that, and we can always expand the brackets if the tournament gets more. Like, if we suddenly get, like, 1 billion signups, we can expand to, like, 16, So, I'm really excited about Class A. I think there's going to be some great games in that. And then, point to clarify is open season is going to be best of 3, and we are considering for Tooth and Tail, considering how quickly the games go, considering that map variants can, in some cases affect games occasionally, all of those things considered, we are looking at a best of 7 format for Class S and Class A tournaments. That's something we're still talking over, but I think that could be really exciting because it kind of gives the players a lot of time to learn each other's play styles and come up with counters. And Tooth and Tail really is a game that's about learning about the opponent and learning how to get proactive plans, but also how to counter them. Like, oh, they're massing a bunch of squirrels. What if I run skunks this game and then destroy that squirrel ball with the gas? And I think that best of 7 gives you a lot of opportunity for counterplay. I don't know if Shadow has anything to add on that.
I don't think so. We're still discussing it just because best of 7 for all of those games would be quite a bit to do for both you guys and for casting, but it's definitely something that we're still discussing.
Yeah.
But
So,
that's
again,
in the future anyway, so
yeah.
we'll be more explicit when it's there.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Yeah, it's very, as Ender was saying in chat, it's very mentally straining. So again, maybe it'll be a best of 3 or best of 5 or something, but it's something we're considering. So those tournaments don't have a set date because the plan is to work around the player schedule. So February is pretty much all of open season. And then March is likely going to be the time where we're doing a new Class A and Class S tournaments, starting with A, then going with S for the end of the season. And we're going to try to work with the players and say, what's your free time look like? What are your days off? When's most convenient for you to play this? So you can all be there, all be mentally ready to play, a competitive set out. So that I think is exciting. So while there are dates set on Battlefy because I had to set a date because it's like a required field, we can change that at any given time. So cool. But the open season is pretty much set in stone where it's going to be February 2nd through the rest of February. So that's pretty good. So we went over the points. Oh, there's... Again, the winner's responsible for entering the results on Battlefy and for submitting the replays on Discord, but the loser can report results for clarity. There are no restrictions on unit deck choices. However, any units with game-breaking bugs, like units that cause the game to crash or desync or have other similar issues, may be temporarily banned by tournament coordinators if the need arises. We want to avoid that, but if someone builds Fox, the game crashes and the servers die and Steam turns off for 16 hours, it's like, well, we gotta ban Fox, so
that hasn't happened recently, and I don't foresee it being an issue, but we just reserve the right just in case.
Exactly. Additionally, we may need to schedule around developer patches. That's something that is going to be kind of interesting to ensure all players are playing on the same patch. Why can't we connect and everything? So we'll try to clarify for each week what patch everyone's going to be playing on. I think
right,
that's
and
important.
Not even whether they can connect at the time. It's that if half of your games are on one patch and half are on another, that's going to be relevant.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be relevant not just for balancing, but also going to be relevant for casting, because we're going to be casting one round of games, and we'll get to the next replays, and it'll be you're out of date, and then we'll all have to go out, and we'll all have to switch to a different patch, and then go back in on stream. Yes. There's going to be 1 million we'll be right backs on that stream. So yeah, we want everyone for each week playing on the same patch. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Once again, all replays. Oh yeah, you can get to the replays here with the instructions. They're stored in app data. You can get to it pretty easily just by following those instructions. We have a naming convention here. There's the Tooth and Tail League Discord. In the absence of replays, if for whatever reason you don't have replays, screenshots are a fallback. Screenshots of the final score screen for each round that include both players' names. In the absence of replays and screenshots, both players must agree that the match result is accurate before any match results are decided. This is to prevent match reporting fraud or people mistakenly saying, like, oh, I won when they forgot they lost or whatever, even accidental, not just intentional. So that's really important. And we don't want to force people to replay their games. That's no fun.
Right.
So yeah. I don't know, Shadow, do you want to take it off here with, like, the rest of this here, I guess? We'll start at, like, Class S and Class A stuff and go into, like, eligibility?
Yeah, let me find it on here.
Fine.
Yeah, I was following on your thing, so, Class A and Class S. Yeah, so when we do the tournament, each of the tournament matches, instead of you sending in the replays to us, we're going to just be in your room spectating and streaming it directly. So we'll be casting it live as it happens.
Very exciting.
But again, save the replays and submit them just like normal, just in case there are shenanigans. We don't expect there to be, but if there were never shenanigans, there wouldn't need to be all these things that are always there anyway.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah. And then after that, there's links to the official Pocket Watch Discord, which is where pretty much the entirety of the Steam community, well, not the entirety, but a huge amount of the Steam community meets up and talks. And there's also the Tooth and Tail League Discord, which we've made specifically for this league, and all the competitors are fully invited. Anybody else is also invited. And you can use either of those to organize your games with the other players, contact us in order to send in replays if you have questions, so on and so forth. And then from there, if you have any further questions, Sakuya is the best person to get in contact with, as he's the head of this entire thing. If it's a simple question, though, pretty much any of the organizers or casters, whoever, can probably answer it.
Yeah, I can add the caster Discord names and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, worst case scenario, if we can't answer it, we'll bring it up to Sakuya.
Sorry, there's a cat in the background. She's just jumping around the house. So, just more specifics, I guess. Eligibility, pretty straightforward. Anyone is eligible to enter open season. Class A and Class S are obviously restricted to Class A and Class S. Tournament coordinators, again, it's just formality stuff. I don't think anything's going to happen, but tournament coordinators reserve the right to remove players for bad manners, harassment, and other stuff as necessary. I give them that power, so, gotta respect them. Format: 4 weeks of open season, adjusted for points based each week, followed by 2 double elimination tournaments. Right now it's double elimination. We're considering single. Again, the tournament format for Class A and Class S is still under debate, and I'm sure that the players who are eventually going to be in Class A and Class S are probably going to have some feedback on that too. So, first season. This is the first time we're running it, so things might change. Open season, best of 3. Again, current tournament for the final tournaments are best of 7, but we'll see. In-game rules, I suppose we should go over. Players can change out their units and decks between games or between rounds. We think that's an important feature to keep in Tooth and Tail, and so there's no problem with you playing 5 tier 1s and Fox one game and then playing a bunch of defensive structures, Lizard and Owl the next game. That's fine. You can blindside your opponents with strategies just like you could in Ranked, or just like you can in friendlies and whatever. We don't think, again, this is going to be an issue. If you suspect your opponent has cheated or modified the game in some way to swing a win their way, private message an organizer, but play out the game. The decision will be made after that game is concluded, because maybe you're like, Chip's Lizard Micro couldn't possibly be this good, and it turns out he is really just that good. So, you gotta play out the game, and then we'll review it And if a player is found to be intentionally... oh, yeah, this is another thing, too. If a player is found to be intentionally delaying their matches from occurring at the expense of their opponents, they may be suspended from the week, season, or future tournaments. Like, if someone is just refusing to play games over and over, and it's discovered to be an intentional thing and not just them with time constraints, then that's something we'll have to talk to. We'll have to talk to that player.
Yeah, like, we'll definitely try to work with you guys in
Yes.
case it is just, okay, life happens, we understand. But don't be a jerk, guys. We really don't want to have to deal with this.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't think it'll be a problem. We're covering all the bases, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So match reporting, we already went over a lot, but you can't stress it enough to send in those replays. Send in those replays. Send in those replays. Get like a Twitch emote or something. Is just send in those replays. Oh yeah, social media, I suppose, covering that. Posting of match results is encouraged. I know everyone's going to be very excited when they win their games, or if they have amazing games in general. We would ask that you please refrain from posting publicly until after that week or tournament games have been casted. It's to prevent match results from being spoiled before a casted event. It kind of takes away from it if people find out that you went 5-0 and you had like all these amazing turnaround games and you had some amazing strategy that no one's ever seen before. If you post about that before it's casted, then people just read the text, and then when they watch the cast, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's what I expected." So, try to avoid spoiling match results before they hit live, just for that sake, for the sake of everyone. Spectating behavior. This is pretty important. During the tournament, if you are a player in the tournament and you're not like a coordinator or caster or anything, it is forbidden to spectate Tooth and Tail League tournament games through this client or otherwise as an active participant. Again, unless you're like host, tournament coordinator, caster, Discord moderator, that kind of thing. So we're trying to do that to kind of prevent fishy stuff from going on, where like, let's say like another player might be spectating and coaching a player through the game, another player might be like spectating and doing something nefarious, someone could be like spectating and recording games and being like, oh, so that's what they're playing, and then they have the edge up on you in the next game. So if you see another player spectating your game during your matches, please notify the moderators, and we'll talk that out. Viewing
and another thing,
oh, sorry, you.
it doesn't even have to be intentional that it's an issue. Like, during one of the Pocket Bot tournaments I was playing in, just for fun, I was spectating somebody that was in the entire different line of players than I was, and one of them was perfectly fine with that, and I was in contact with him. The other one apparently wasn't, and I only found out after the first game, and the other player only found out after the first game. So, and of course I left after that, but still, just to prevent even any questions about that being okay or not, we're just cutting it off and saying, please don't.
Yeah, and again, you'll be able to see the games as long as you record the replays and send them in. You'll be able to see them casted. Yeah. So yeah. So and yeah, obviously viewing the casted games on Twitch TV via the tournament channels and stuff is entirely different. That's fine. That's the point.
Yeah.
Ties. In the event of someone figuring out how to tie Tooth and Tail games, I suppose, the game just simply needs to be reset and replayed. No player earns a win for a tie. Is there a way to tie in Tooth and Tail? Like if the mills collapse at the exact same time?
I was gonna say, if you both stay on 4 farms and never actually
starve out.
Yeah, if you starve out on your first 4 farms, maybe.
Yeah, I haven't tested it.
I kind of want to try that.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll test this like on stream. Yeah, if you can run that in the background while we're doing this.
In the name of science.
Connection issues and bugs. So obviously, internet issues can happen. In the case of we're more concerned with like repeated connection issues. If there is a disconnect and we watch the replay and we see it's a disconnect, we could, the tournament coordinators can rule on a case-by-case basis of, oh, this player won this, or, oh, you need to replay this game. We'll have to go case-by-case basis there. But in the case of repeated connection issues, extreme lag throughout like an entire set of like a best of 3 or especially like a 7 or other regular game interruptions, tournament coordinators may in an emergency at their discretion determine the winner based on the game state via replays, or declare a draw and award no points if a clear winner can't be identified, and then replaying the game. If time has become an issue, the tournament coordinator or host will decide the course of action to be taken, not the players. We're just going to leave it in the hands of the coordinator, so we have like an objective, impartial eye, up to and including declaring a winner of a match. If minor bugs occur, like not a big deal, the game's going to keep going. We're only really worried about game-breaking bugs or like huge connection issues for the whole set. Additionally, any intentional exploitation of game-breaking bugs will definitely disqualify the player. If we determine that it is an intentional thing, that someone is over and over and over again abusing a bug that disconnects the opponent or something like that, then yeah, you can't do that. So, but again, I don't think we're going to run into any of these issues. It's just for covering all the bases. Disputes problems. If you have a problem with the Battlefy site itself, like you have a problem making an account or something, we can't exactly help you with that past just guiding you through it, so we'd recommend contacting Battlefy. Hey, Mishi, hype! I am so excited.
So much hype.
Oh yeah. If you have a dispute that cannot be solved by Battlefy, but it is still involved in the tournament, you can certainly refer it to myself, Sakuya NA, or any tournament coordinator for resolution. Potential sanctions for violating tournament rules include suspension or bans from future tournaments. We don't want to do that, it's just, we might have to, but I don't think, again, I think this is going to go nice and smooth. My contact information is Sakuya NA, OTK, number 6105 on Discord. We'll list the other players, and we'll list the other tournament coordinators and stuff here. As stated before, players can report their own score, and just to repeat for the millionth time, all replays for matches must be saved and submitted to tournament coordinators. Please do that. So we don't have to keep saying it. So you can actually cast.
I really don't want to have to break out Microsoft Paint.
draw that masterpiece, masterpiece.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the general rules. Should be pretty straightforward. Nice, fun, games for week 1 through 4, and then the super nitty gritty tournaments in March. I really like this format. I think it gives kind of an ebb and flow to the season. Ender has a suggestion. Oh. And I'll add the buys, I think, to the rules if that becomes an issue. We'll throw that right in.
Yeah. We definitely should have that typed up.
Mm-hmm. At one point, there can be a casting break. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably be doing breaks during the like the big tournament.
Yeah, I mean,
stuff.
If you think about it, there's going to be a lot of replays. I don't know the exact number because that's a stupid computation problem that I do not feel like doing in my head. But there's going to be a lot of them. I don't really see us being able to recast every single replay unless we hire a lot more casters.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that's If other people are interested,
no.
If other people are interested in casting, hit us up. We are quite available to hash that out.
Yes, but, you're allowed to cast it. I was saying no to Enderman.
Yeah, yeah. You can use your MS Paint skills to commentate a TNT match. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure we'll be doing breaks because what is it? It's 3 replays per match, 5 matches per round. So that's already 15 per group, and then we're assuming right now with the 15, so that's times 15. So yeah, that's a decent amount of replays for week 1. But that's why it takes us over a whole week, and hopefully players won't just play all of their games at the very end of the week and make us cry. But we'll see. We'll see.
Even if they did do that, and
they do breaks.
15 times 15 times 3, which probably isn't quite right, but still.
Yeah, 15 times 5 times 3. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I guess this, maybe like Mishi will win all of his games, and so he'll only be 15 times 5 times 2.
Even still, that's a silly amount of replays.
Totally. Thankfully, Tooth and Tail games.
If you multiply that by 5 to 10 minutes per game, that's quite a lot of minutes to cast.
So yeah, we'll see. If it's too ambitious, maybe we won't cast like every single game, but we're gonna try. Yeah. We're gonna try to cast a decent amount of them.
Definitely try to cast probably at least 1 per player at minimum.
Yeah, I think that's a good number to shoot for. I like that.
Yeah, like 1 match per player, and then go from there.
Yeah. So, prizes. We are still hashing out our goals for prizes. Each season's Class A and Class S rosters will be recorded, as well as each season's winner of the Hero of the Hungry and Fury of the Feast tournaments. If we haven't gone over that yet, we've named Class A's tournament Hero of the Hungry and Class S Fury of the Feast. Thought that was kind of cute, since they're named after some of the Steam achievements and rankings for players in Tooth and Tail. So we thought that could be kind of cool to be like, oh yeah, you can look back on your esports career and be like, oh yeah, I was a regular Class A winner in Hero of the Hungry. All casted games will ideally be highlighted on Twitch TV for future viewing and reviewing, which I think is important to note. The fame of winning these things, to be recorded forever. And we are working out some ideas for what we could hand out for prizes, or fun things, or monetary things. But since it's season 1, it's not 100% ironed out yet. But that's something we're going to be talking about off stream, and we'll figure out what we want to do for prizes for Class A and Class S, and for the winner of the Open season too, is important. So yeah, we're still working that out. Just know that it's on our minds, and we are working on it. The full schedule is going to be going up here, but the schedule is already kind of available in the sense that it's February 1st, the tournament activates, and then, and yes, Ender will be around for emergency ban hammering on stream, which is nice. February 2nd is basically when all the games start. It's just, first is like the pools are all seeded and we're all set and we're all ready, and that gives us a day to look at the brackets and make sure everything is right, make sure that it's not some weird thing where like someone's stuck in a bracket by themselves and gets 5 buys. All of those little things. I think a 24-hour period is kind of nice. It also gives you a chance to look at your opponents and be like, oh man, I'm going to be playing against these people and everything, and kind of get into that mindset. It's so exciting. And then after February 2nd, we just run through the whole tournament from the 2nd to the 28th pretty much, and then March marks when we're going to be doing the Class A and Class S tournaments. Again, contact the current TNT league host is Best Sakuya NA, and that might not always be the case. Maybe in future seasons someone else will be running it, just so I figured I'd just word it as current. The Discords that you should be using, the official Pocket Watch Games Discord is wonderful, and reporting there is so nice because, the devs can see it and mods can see it, and it's impossible to be missed. You can also private message things, obviously, to us, and private messages are kind of like preferred, but if you want to use a server, Pocket Watch Discord is the way to go. It's as official as it can get. We also have the Tooth and Tail League Discord, which is a specific, smaller Discord. If you want a Discord with like less noise, where you can like talk a little bit more directly to all of the league coordinators at once, that's perfect. So you got a lot of options. You got private messages, you got the Pocket Watch Discord, you got the Tooth and Tail League Discord. So there's really no excuse to not be able to send in the replays and talk to people. And that's also why, again, like you have a whole week to play the games for the first set. So yeah, I guess just going over that again in case that confuses anyone, since some people joined late. Format for the open season, to clarify, is round robin, organized into groups of 6 players for 4 weeks. So each week you get 5 opponents. You best of 3 those 5 opponents. You do your best to win them all, and then send in those replays for proof of who won the games in a zipped file to a Tooth and Tail coordinator in a private message. And then when week 2 hits, you're seeded into a next group, and you have 5 new opponents to work with. So don't worry, you don't need to be up at exactly midnight at February 2nd to play all your games. That's basically the start time for when you're allowed to start playing your games, February 2nd. So yeah, exciting. So I think that's pretty much it. We have participants listed and stuff. We've got a system where you can look at the brackets up top. So you can click brackets for week 1, 2, and so on, and you'll be able to see those. Then we're going to have Class A Hero of the Hungry and Class S Fury of the Feast, which we'll set up. Media is really cool. So any streams that are going to be streaming it streaming the tournament are right here. It's kind of one of my favorite features of Battlefy, is that I can list other streaming channels. So if other streamers would be interested in broadcasting this officially, we can actually list them right here. So rather than just going to Twitch and being like, all right, I gotta go through the Tooth and Tail streams, who's it? You can literally just go right to this media channel, and I think that's so cool. And if there's any official announcements, they're gonna be here. That's just bot testing I was doing, so none of these are real announcements. We will be doing official announcements, soon. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I don't know, Shadow, Vile, are there any things that I've forgotten that we might want to go over?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Vile's here, yes. Vile's going to be helping with casting, but he's mostly going to be kind of like an outside thing. He's had casting experience in other games like Company of Heroes, but he's not a big Tooth and Tail person, so he's kind of on standby as an additional caster, in case we don't have co-casters. And Vile's like, put me in the ring, coach, I'm ready. I don't know what half these units are.
Well, no, I know what the units are, but I don't know when people are going to build them or what's going to happen.
The timing, right, yeah. I get you.
Okay, so good thing to remember is you build the fox and boar first. And then you...
No. I know people always build squirrels first, unless you're Chip or Sakuya, then you build lizards.
Yeah, lizards are fun. I like my lizard gizzards. Lizard wizards.
So, and also, toad pigeon is a good build.
If someone, oh my god, that's really funny to think about with the casted games. Is there's gonna be some people just intentionally running some really crazy strategies just to throw their opponents off.
There's gonna be people that meme because there's so many games.
Like toad pigeon mine. I'm excited for that. Oh man. So yeah, that's the whole format, and we'll post this as a highlight. So if people are like, I joined in this stream late, I wanted to hear this information, we're gonna highlight. So that's okay. That's not hard for me to do at all. I just go into Twitch and I pick the minutes and I export it as a video. So that's cool. We're good on that. I guess we could just play some Tooth and Tail games now. I mean, that was pretty much it. I don't think I'm forgetting about anything. We're still interested again in more streamers, casters, tournament organizers. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
If you, I know you mentioned Shadow that you had to leave soon, so we don't want to hold you up from work, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for dropping by. I'm so excited to have you on casting, Shadow.
Thank you. I look forward to bungling it horribly.
Oh, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
This is fine, as everything burns down around him.
Yeah. This is fine, yeah. Oh, man. I'll have to try and come up with some Tooth and Tail League emotes for the Tooth and Tail League Discord, so then people will be super motivated to join for all the fancy emotes for Nitro. Well, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go into Tooth and Tail and play some games horribly, and you guys are gonna see that you truly can be terrible at this game and still cast. That'll be fun. Let me switch back to the display capture here. There we go.
Alright, well, I am going to duck out then. Thank you, and I look forward to this.
Oh yeah, totally. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Alright, see you all later.
And that was Shadow, everyone. So that is gonna be a darn good time. Very
also,
exciting.
I think your webcam was hidden by the...
Oh yeah, it was hidden, but now it's not. You can see me in my dapper suit, in our casting suit, in the casting desk. We have a real casting desk here now. That's what we're doing. We're professional.